Fine. Good morning, everybody. How are we doing on this Tuesday morning? I didn't think I was going to make it this Tuesday morning. Likely because... Oh, let me get that off of here. We're not ready for that yet. Blooper. Okay. Because I got woken up this morning to a nephew who really didn't know the fucking plan on how he was going to get to work this morning. Just that his original ride fell through, so he woke up roommate and then decided to knock on my door and ask if he could get gas, put gas in the car, and if I had the keys or if I had the gas card and blah, blah, blah. Waking me up, I can only assume, at 6:30 in the morning. My nephew wants to die. That's all I'm going to say. I think my nephew has a death wish. So let me see who I am saying good morning to. As you can see, I has my Phoebus, and Zeus is back there in the background because he spent most of his morning underneath the table while I was getting ready. I don't know whether he's not feeling good or just not feeling up to his usual antics. So we got a good afternoon to a Yin Wolf, a good morning to a Numbskull, a good morning to a Miss T, and a Magnus Deacon the truckin' motherfucker. Let me see here. As we scroll down, I see a Stargazer. Good morning. I know I saw a Hellbound, so good morning to Hellbound. I saw a Fuckwad, so good morning to Fuckwad. Let me see who else is in the chat. I scrolled down because that participating thing never is very accurate. And a good morning to Thraxy, my lovable guard dragon of the internet. So, a lot of stuff went on over the weekend. A lot of stuff is going on in the government this morning. A story broke last night that we're going to cover about the FISA memo. All kinds of stuff is going on. Since I overslept this morning, thanks to nephew waking me up and me not resetting the alarm the way I was supposed to, it's sort of going to be done the old school way, where I have the entire article downloaded into Evernote, and I'm just reading the highlighted parts. So please excuse the fact that I did not write a summary of the particular stories, but I didn't figure I had enough time this morning to do so. As the day progresses and stuff goes on, then I will probably do some blog post news articles that I have to get out. Let me see. Oh, Ronan is in Tennessee, so I am waiting. No, the FISA memo is not just fake news. It is actually real. Let me see here. Ronan is in Tennessee on his way to Atlanta to make a delivery because he raised hell with Werner, and so I may get to have breakfast with him this morning after the show's over with. I cannot wait. I am absolutely excited. I haven't seen him in like 4 weeks. A little over a month. Oh, jeez, it's been too long. Way, way, way too long. You're in Tennessee too, huh? Alright, so what else? Oh, yes. You will notice that there are 2 new links in my Shilling section. One is to my blog, and the other one is the link where you can submit news articles that you want me to research or report on in the show. I want you guys to become a little more interactive than just popping into the live chat or putting things in the Discord. So that particular bulletin board for the news board is your chance to let me know what news issues you want me to research and report on. Good morning, Penina. Whether you want me to do a blog post on it or entertain, read a news story on air or do a coffee talk with it. So that is your chance. I am currently constructing or putting together my own website that I am using through a friend's service, and I am putting my Twitch link in the live chat. Why, you may ask? Because once my website goes live, every single link to a live stream is going to be the Twitch TV channel. I am going to slowly get to the point where I am going to be broadcasting exclusively on Twitch for my live streams and just upload edited versions of these particular streams up to YouTube and other places. Morning, Green Badger Outdoors. As you can see, there is a new overlay. I hope you guys like it. I think it gives you a lot more room to see things. There's a bigger cam for when Zeus is feeling a little active and frisky and not lying down there looking like a bump on a log like he is this morning. So there is that. Let me see if I can scoot this over just a little bit more so you can see him more than me, because everybody comes for the dog. I'm getting used to being pushed out anyway. I did move the camera over so you can see both of us in the cam. Yes, it is. It's probably not showing up because, no, I just finished opening it up. I put right click and open a new tab. That Twitch TV goes straight to my MWM Media channel. What do you mean it's not connected to my Twitch page? I'm seeing it live on Twitch and I am seeing it live on YouTube, which is the two places that I am broadcasting to currently. So, let's get on with the... What do you mean you can't follow me? We'll figure it out later. I've also got the Twitch links in the Discord where I shield everything. Alright, so... First tweet. The Trump effect on the economy continues. More great news for American workers. ExxonMobil to invest $50 billion in the U.S. over 5 years, citing tax reform. So the tax reform... Thank you. So the tax reforms are creating jobs. They're creating more lucrative opportunities for businesses. Good morning, Draconith. How are you doing? I don't know. I'm going to have to do some research about those sanctions in Venezuela. Yay! Thank you for joining the madness. Woohoo! Yes. All right. So there is that. There's always good news, but of course, you know, if you ask or talk to the regressive left, he's doing more harm than good for the country. Funny how doing more harm means more jobs for people. The FCC January open meeting will begin at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out the agenda here. All right, January 18th open commission meeting. So the minutes for the meeting and what they're going to be presiding over is going to be touted out. I think it started this morning. How dare the FCC broadcast at the same time I'm broadcasting? Freaking government people. I mean, I swear. But there you have it. All links to all these tweets are below. Yeah, less of a delay on Twitch too. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. FTC. You can check your credit report at least once a year for free. The link to that tweet is also below. Yes, you can check your credit report for free one time a year. So there is that to consider and take, and to think about. The DOD. All right, let me see here. I'm going to have to bunk. Shanahan outlined parts of the newly announced National Defense Strategy and its impact on active duty service members in an interview at the Pentagon. So there's that tweet to take notice of. And last but not least, I believe this was brought to my attention by our own Penina. Ajit Pai, I oppose any proposal for the federal government to build and operate a nationwide 5G network. The market, not the government, is best positioned to drive innovation and investment. Statement of FCC Chairman Ajit Pai on the future of 5G. I oppose any proposal for the federal government to build and operate a nationwide 5G network. The main lesson to draw from the wireless sector's development over the past 3 decades, including American leadership in 4G, is that the market, not the government, is best positioned to drive innovation and investment. What government can and should do is push, develop, and deploy next-generation infrastructure. Any federal effort to construct a nationalized 5G network would be a costly and counterproductive distraction from the policies we need to help the United States win the 5G future. So that is what's going on this morning. Morning, Amanda Wolfchild. We have a Wolfchild in the chat this morning. So, we do have all those going on, and if you want to check those tweets even further, those tweets as well as the stories that we are about to read are going to be in the description below. Alright, so speaking of news,
Snow continues in the Northeast here on this Tuesday, the second to last day of January 2018. We are going to be dealing with accumulating snow, which may be enough to shovel and plow in a few spots. We'll have more rain and snow chances across the northern tier of the nation over the next several days, and including the Northwest, with another surge of Pacific moisture here later this week. And today and tomorrow we have fire concerns that remain at critical levels. Well, here is a view from Boston, Massachusetts. If you recall, earlier this month we had quite a bit of snow. I believe on the third day of the month we had more than a foot of that. Most of the snow has melted since then, or at least the big piles of it, but as you can see, there's snow ongoing here from earlier today. Winter weather advisories continue for eastern portions of Maine, southeastern Massachusetts, and then of course through the spine of the Appalachians. And again, maybe a few inches of snow in a few spots could be enough to shovel and plow in a few areas, at least over the next day and a half. And then we're going to have another Clipper system roll in later this week with another chance of snow. So there goes the snow, again, kind of wrapping up throughout our Tuesday. We get into a brief break tonight, maybe early Wednesday, and then another chance of that snow starting to slide into the Great Lakes, the eastern Great Lakes, and the northern New England states as we head into that midweek time period. Some spots to our south, maybe again getting in on a little bit of a wintry mix, but it's not going to be much. Most of our snow will be found up to the north. Meanwhile, we have, again, red flag warnings and fire weather watches here in the Central Plains. We have critical levels of fire weather concerns today. Winds will be very breezy. We're talking gusts of almost 40 miles per hour. Temperatures will also be a good 25 degrees above average, and it will also be very dry. Again, we have critical fire weather concerns on our Wednesday. Still quite breezy, maybe not quite as windy as what we expect today. But as you head back to the west, again, looking at another round of heavy rain in the northwest. Some heavy snow will be found there in the northwest as well. Have a good one.
And there is the weather by PredictX. And here is our first story of the day. Kansas officer fired for violating policy in deadly shooting. Leavenworth, Kansas. A Kansas police officer who fatally shot a man in an SUV outside the man's home 6 months ago has been fired for violating department policy in the shooting, a police chief said Monday. Leavenworth Police Chief Patrick Kitchens said in an email that Officer Matthew Harrington was terminated Friday for violating the department's use of deadly force policy in the shooting that killed 47-year-old Antonio Garcia Jr. Prosecutors are still reviewing the case, and my dog would start barking when I started reading the news. Haha. Police have provided few details about what led up to the shooting, including whether Garcia was armed. It happened after Harrington responded in July to a domestic argument at Garcia's home after possession of an SUV that was initially reported as stolen. According to police, Garcia left before Harrington arrived, then returned and had an encounter with Harrington in the driveway. According to a news release from police, Garcia was shot while in the SUV. Leavenworth County prosecutor told Todd Thompson said in a news release that his staff hopes to complete its review soon, noting that his office is awaiting requested information. Thompson's release noted that the criminal investigation is separate from the police inquiry. So that's what's going on in Kansas. Yeah, you usually start your videos with hi. Hi. I remember that. Alright, here we go. And nope. This one. Alright. Alright. Venezuelans loot to eat amid economic tailspin. This is a little bit of a longer one. Puerto Cabello, Venezuela. The cab of Carlos del Pino's big rig gave him a nerve-rattling front row to a surge in mob attacks on Venezuela's neighboring markets, cattle ranches, and food delivery trucks like his. Shortly after pulling away from the docks at Puerto Cabello, the country's biggest port, he witnessed 20 people swarm a truck ahead of him in a frenzy, fill up their sacks with the corn it was carrying to a food processing plant. The driver was held at gunpoint. Yet despite his fears with his impoverished countrymen who are becoming desperate amid Venezuela's wide food shortages and sky-high inflation, so they have to loot to eat, he said. Sporadic looting, food riots, and protests driven by hungry poor have surged in Venezuela, a country that's no stranger to unrest. But the uprisings playing out recently have a different face than mostly middle-class protesters who took to the streets for months last year in political demonstrations trying to oust President Nicolás Maduro. Yep, because we know Maduro is such a great guy. Venezuela holds the world's largest oil reserves and was once among Latin America's wealthiest nations. But after nearly 2 decades of socialist rule and mismanagement of the state-run oil company, it is being battered by the worst economic crisis in its history. The surge in violent food protests began in poor neighborhoods across the country around Christmas, when Maduro had promised the holiday hams were coming in government food baskets distributed to his supporters. But many did not arrive, sparking protests with small groups burning garbage in the streets and looting. Opposition pundits called it the pork revolution. Trying to bring calm, Maduro ordered hundreds of supermarkets to slash prices to the previous month's level, a tall order in a country where prices have been doubling every few weeks. Miss T, but that can't be. Just ask the left. Socialism works. Or as Trump would say, Venezuela is socialism practiced faithfully. Hello, YouTube chat. Fuckwa's over in the Twitch chat. I'm in the future. Alright. The unrest has cooled some, but many Venezuelans fear it to be a temporary lull as the economy spins further out of control. The International Monetary Fund estimates inflation will reach 5 digits this year, while the economy in its 5th straight year of recession will shrink 15%. Barely solvent businesses say they're reluctant to import more goods, fearing another government-ordered fire sale. As the currency crashes on the flourishing black market, the monthly minimum wage is now worth the equivalent of just $3. Oh, excuse me. Morning, CT. Cattle ranchers say at least 2 farms have been raided by people who slaughtered cows. A video on Twitter shows a dozen men in the state of Mérida killing a cow with rocks and a machete, one shouting, "We are hungry." In the first half of January, there were at least 110 incidents of looting, more than 5 times in the same year period in a year earlier, says the Venezuelan Observatory of Social Conflict, a non-governmental group that tracks unrest. Street gangs are luring poor children as young as age 9 with food, he said, standing in as a lookout during a burglary. Used to earn a recruit Nike shoes or Wrangler jeans. Now they get McDonald's hamburger, he said. Briseno Leon adds that some hungry people unable to buy groceries steal food by eating it inside stores. Men riding motorbikes increasingly yank bags of food away from customers who have stood in line for hours, spending what little money they had. Yeah, I know. But then you have the regressive left and you have these lovely millennials, saying that we need to be living in a socialist society. This is the perfect example of what happens when you implement socialism faithfully to the letter. You get starving people, you get a depressed economy, and you get an overbearing government. Socialism and communism, faithfully implemented, do not work when you put in the human factor. Anything looks good on paper. The problem is, and I mean it's a problem, the problem is when you put it into practice, and my dog keeps barking, with people involved. They will say, so socialism is, I've always pretty much labeled socialism communism light. Because if you're going to transition from, let's say, capitalism to communism, you need something in between. So you start working in more socialist programs and, in that nature to kind of add a little bit of socialism into a capitalist government. And then eventually it'll be nothing but a socialist government. And then from there, it's only a step up to communism, or a step down, as I like to say. Mommy can't play with you right now. Mommy's doing her work. Alright, and let's see what we've got here. Shush, hang on just a second. All right. Going back down here so I can flip the pages. And last but not least, the most awaited story of the day. Intel committee votes to release secret GOP memo. Withhold Democrats' rebuttal. Yes, FISA memo. And here we go. Fuck why they should exchange their currency for WoW currency. It retains its value better. Alright, the House Intelligence Committee voted along party lines Monday to release a controversial memo aimed at bolstering Republicans' attacks against the FBI and the DOJ over objections of both. The decision starts a process seldom, if ever, glimpsed inside Washington's national security world. Now that members of Congress have sought to release the secret document, President Trump has 5 days to notify the committee of any objection. But the White House wants the memo out and appeared to give a green light, so it wasn't clear whether on Monday night, whether the clock needed to run until Saturday or the memo might appear sooner. The document was prepared by Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, which is a Republican out of California, and the Republican majority staff of the committee. It's been described as an indictment of alleged abuse by the FBI and Department of Justice of their surveillance power, specifically the quality of evidence they presented in asking to monitor at least one person in Donald Trump's campaign. Republicans say the FBI and DOJ are infested with Democrats out to get Trump because of partisan animus. Nunes's memo is believed to charge that Deputy Attorney Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein presented weak evidence to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court in asking it to reauthorize surveillance on an American, which isn't in the act to do. The material in the dossier, that wonderful dossier that's supposed to prove U.S., Trump collusion with Russia, is not only unproved but partially underwritten by Democrats. In Republicans' construction bias special agents within the FBI took Cyrillus, now you see I can't read this morning either, Democratic-funded opposition research and used it to launch a baseless investigation of the Trump camp's ties to Russia. Excuse me. Evidence of potential collusion between Trump camp and Russia has always gone beyond the dossier, including contacts that have been revealed in court documents as part of the investigation by the DOJ Special Counsel Robert Mueller. And Washington has already previously hashed out complaints by Trump and Nunes about the abuse of surveillance powers, from Trump's claim that Trump Tower was wiretapped to Nunes's charge that people in the Trump orbit were wrongly unmasked by Obama administration officials. But this time, Democrats complain they are being deprived, I guess it's supposed to be deprived, their chance to fire back at what they call the cherry-picked version of events in Nunes's file. House Intelligence Committee ranking member Adam Schiff told reporters on Monday evening that the majority used another party line vote to reject his motion to release his secret memo, responding to Nunes's memo. So there you have it. They have voted to release it. And in so voting to release it, good morning, Skeptic Simba. In so voting to release the FISA memo, it is now on President Trump's desk. Now, this is on the eve of his State of the Union address, which is going to be tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe. That's usually when they do the State of the Union address. Now, I believe that in order to have a gotcha moment, I think he is going to go ahead and declassify the FISA memo. That way everybody can see what is in that 4-page report that Nunes put together. He wants this kind of transparency because, let's face it, okay, the Democrats have been on his ass. He can't even sneeze correctly without them bitching about it. Okay? Now, looking at his Twitter feed, there's good things about his Twitter feed, there's bad things about his Twitter feed, but let's face it. Okay, for every one good thing that he tweets, he tends to stick his foot in his mouth to balance everything out. But who doesn't on their Twitter feed from time to time? Okay? And whether most people know it or not, he isn't the only one using his account to tweet out of, okay? You have got advisors and special advisors that actually tweet out for him. And if you've noticed, there's a change in the language in between when somebody else tweets out for him and when he tweets out for him. And sometimes, just sometimes, you can tell the difference. If you're paying attention to the language in those tweets, you can definitely tell the difference as to whether it's him tweeting or somebody else on his staff tweeting for him. Because he can't always tweet for himself. He is a very happy boy, and now he's behind me asleep again. Alright, so, on to the next, as they say. So we can get this. On to the next.
Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries.
And to the recommended views this morning, and as you can tell, I didn't make sure I had everything completely framed up. I hope you guys are liking the new overlay. I wanted it a little less ornate and a little more simple, so I hope you guys like the new look. So, the first one on the list is Amanda Wolfchild being done dirty. She talks about how Sinatra and Suit Yourself can no longer stream, and the whys and wherefores behind Suit's constant fight to call out somebody that is, V's been on the Kumite a lot lately. And Suit's ongoing fight to make sure scammers don't scam any more people out of their own money. So please take a look at that video. You won't be disappointed. We have Ichabod Orange, questions about sociopathy and schizophrenia. This is a very, very good video. He asks the question and then he answers it in the context of how he has personally experienced these things, and even goes into a little bit of a detail in the whys and wherefores of these mental illnesses. So it is a very interesting video to watch. Next one on the list, iNabber. I found this, and as you can see, I'm still on the fence as to whether or not I want to subscribe to this person. But this Tana Mongeau mistake is as bad as Logan Paul's. I had to watch this because Tana Mojo or Tana Mongeau or Tana Mongeau or Goo or however you say her last name. In this video, he goes on to say that she plays he plays clips from her video of where she's out with her friends, and her girlfriend finds a dead body in a bathroom, and they show the dead body repeatedly. So, this is his take on why that's as bad, if not worse than Logan Paul's Suicide Forest video. It's a very good and interesting video to watch. And last but not least, our lovable goofs poisoning the well. Exposed! The Elle Darby versus White Moose Cafe. Hashtag Bloggergate controversy. PTW recap. They not only go through the whole controversy and Tana Mongoloid. They not only go through a brief story as to what happened with Ellie and the White Moose Cafe, with our dear Pat being on the opposite side this time and not defending the woman. It is a good video. I'll give them credit. It's very well put together and their banter is on point as usual, but the bloopers are fucking hilarious. Because Pat goes off in the bloopers. It's something to see. Swear to God, it is something to see. So please check out that video. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Unfortunately, I couldn't find... Let me see if I can find a cancerous article this morning. Well, the way I'm coughing, I may just play the live stream announcements and talk to you guys for a few minutes before I end the show, because, oh my gosh, my coughing is not doing very well this morning. And here are the live stream announcements, and I'll read through them real quick. Playing music and probably cartoons. He's been playing the Ghastly cartoons, the Fright Supremacy cartoons. Kumite, 11 o'clock on Tonka Saw's channel. 6 p.m. Oh no, that's not going on. I gotta take that off the list because it's Tuesday, not Wednesday. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Hellcats on Jason Brazeal's channel, followed by 9 p.m. Lords of the Night on Scribe's channel, night stream. After Scribe Light is Minions of the Zoo. And if you want to hear Penina scream or be very excited while she plays a game, she usually does her Let's Plays tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on her channel, and all those links are below. So what is everybody up to in the, where is our God 666? Yo, what's up, my dude fam? Can you hit me with a spicy dab? I don't know how to do that. And that's somebody. But welcome to my Twitch chat and welcome to my Twitch channel. Also, welcome to my news show. Where is our God? I am new to Twitch, so I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. So, we'll figure out stuff that's going on there. I don't think I have a dab. Let me see. Nope. So that's me. I'm an old woman on multi-platforms trying to keep track of everything. Why doesn't he just release it? What are the chances? Well, Morning a Religious Idiot. I don't think he's going to edit it. I don't think. Not coughing, coffee, get it right. I don't think he's going to edit it. I don't think that's Trump's style. I think Trump is going to take a look at it. It's going to cross his desk. He's going to declassify it. And then he's going to release it for everybody else to see. And when that happens, there's going to be a special edition of Coffee Talk. Because I want to read that memo and I want to discuss what's in it with a couple of people on a live stream. Because I think everybody needs to know what's going on with that memo and what's been going on. Because whether you like Trump or not, what's been going on has been a witch hunt from the Democratic side against him. Not to repeat, but promo! Adding 2 more days to schedule my show. I need people who want to be on to get a hold of me to line up the shows ahead if possible. Got it. Since my streams are unpredictable, I'll be sucking at video games this afternoon. Alright. Speaking of those with scheduled live streams, if you want, because I want to add little 20-second spots into the show, kind of advertisements for the other creators, if you will, that do live streams. If you submit a 20-second commercial, let's say, for your channel, I will play it live on my show. Because I feel that we need to get the word out, and I know I'm an itty-bitty channel right now, and I know it's not that easy having an itty-bitty channel. But I do what I can to get word out for other creators. So, if, you know who's on the lineup. If you want to do a reminder to get Maddie 20 seconds of me being an idiot. Because I will play it as a spot on the show. Either as an interlude, as a break in between ads or articles that I read. And so on and so forth. I want to be able to advertise other people. Yep. A challenge to make a 20-second commercial. Yes, sir, Numbskull. The challenge is out. I'll just send you my intro and let you clip it however you want. Alright, Magnus. Miss T, I have a relative who is a firm believer that Trump is destroying our country, but can't give one true example as to how. There's a lot of people that assert that he is destroying our country, but none of them have concrete evidence as to how this actually is happening and going about. Because there has been economic growth. The stock market is soaring. You have Exxon creating jobs. You have AT&T and other companies, because of the tax reforms, giving bonuses to the blue-collar workers for a job well done. Good morning, Malachite. How you doing? You caught us right at the end where I'm talking to chat and getting a cough drop, so I'll quit hacking up a lung. I would have, if I would have had a ride at the time, because I can't walk up that hill that's close to the house to get to the bus stop, I would have been completely out of breath. If I would have had a ride, I would have voted for Trump, because I would have seen not Trump as, yay, I'm on board the Trump train, more like, okay, yeah, he's, the lesser of two evils. Because it's pretty much what we had for the presidency. This year, I believe, is the midterm elections for Congress. So, please stay on top of how your congressmen have voted. Take notice to whether or not they voted the way you wanted them to vote. If there are any new candidates that are running in the primaries in order to be voted on for Congress, then please do your homework on these. Morning, Scott. Do your homework on these delegates that are going to be running for these offices here in 2018. Don't vote blindly. Don't vote ignorantly. Be an informed voter. PeninaChan, at the current rate, I'll be voting for Trump for 2020. Yeah, me too. Amanda Wolfchild, I voted Johnson. Hubby the whole time was defending Trump till he voted Clinton and now acts like I'm a crazy Republican Trump lover. My senator is Chuck Schumer. Oh, Chuck Schumer? Schumer. I'm sorry, fuckwad. Yeah, I know. I hope somebody runs against him because there are a lot of people that need not to be in Congress anymore. They've been there too long. Because once you become what is so unlovingly termed Chuck Schemer. Once you become what is so unlovingly termed as a career politician, you forget what you're there for. You forget why the people voted you in. And you start serving the interest not of the people, but of yourself. Scott asks, was the memo released? The memo was voted to be released, Scott, and put on the president's desk. We're waiting to see if the president has released or declassified the memo. That's the way things like this work. The Intel Committee votes to release the memo to the president. Upon voting to release it to the president, it is now, the ball is in the president's court as to whether or not he wants to declassify the memo. That's what we're waiting on now. Pins and needles, pins and needles. When it is released, I am going to see if I can scour the internet to find a copy to read it on a special live edition of Coffee Talk. So, yeah, I'm keeping my eyes out for that. So, like I said, don't be an ignorant voter. Don't, blindly poke. Miss T, I waited till November for them to show the real candidates and decided we just couldn't have another Clinton. Yeah, I agree. Numbskull, scratch the like button and sniff the share. I say the whole time was defending. Yeah, I mean, it's just Trump wasn't exactly my first choice for a Republican president, but like I said, he was a lesser of two evils. PeninaChan, Maddy, I want in on the FISA Coffee Talk. No problem. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so keep a lookout for that. Scott, so, hashtag declassify the memo will soon trend. I don't think it's going to be on his desk very long before he decides to declassify it. After all, he wants to prove once and for all his claims that he has been, that he has wiretapping going on, that they were spying on him during, his campaign. So I don't think it's going to be, I don't think that memo, once it hits his desk, is going to be on his desk very long before he declassifies it and releases it. It's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. It really, really is. I, for one, am going to absolutely love it because, like I said, I am going to be right on top of that, and I'm going to be reading it with a few other people, and I'm going to be streaming what it says. Because I believe once and for all that this is going to prove to at least people that have been on the fence between the regressive left and the right, that the deeper the left digs, the more they find dirt on themselves. It's like a self-defeating action. Because every time they try and find a Trump-Russia collusion, you have... Scott, Maddy, did you see the Grammys 2 days ago? And that... I forgot... God damn it, I just scratched my nose on air. Fuck. Sorry, guys. I don't hear you. Let me see. 2 days ago, and Hillary was on stage. Yeah, that's been all over Twitter. her reading Fire and Fury has been all over Twitter. And it's just... She just won't give up. I think her senility has kicked in at this point. And she doesn't realize that what she's doing is just making herself look worse. She is the Wicked Witch of the West. And I am just, waiting for a house to land on her ass. I know a lot of people get that reference. I never liked the Clintons, really. Not that Bill didn't do anything good when he was in office. Irreligious idiot. Yeah, but for how long? I've heard Sticks say the experts say that this economic growth is just another bubble that is about to burst. Bubbles that tend to grow rapidly do tend to burst. There is a trend. But depending on how well the tax reform is managed and how things go, I think it will be steady for a while, because this country needs an economic boost. Okay? This country needs to turn itself around, and it needs to start being in the black, because the GDP needs to be at a healthy level again, and it's on its way there. Americans need more jobs, and that's happening. He's trying to renegotiate NAFTA. He's trying to do all these things to put our country first, which is where our country should be. As Americans, we all should be putting our own country first. Irreligious idiot. I voted Jill Stein. I couldn't stand either of the candidates. Well, that's your prerogative. I would like to see more than 2 parties in the next major presidential election. But unless more people go out to vote, then, we're going to have that problem. You have people, let's face it. What was it? Less than half of the population turned out for the last election for our president? I think that's what happened. Irreligious idiot. I do hope that California and New York votes out Schumer and Pelosi. Yeah, me too. Scott McGinnis. Jill Stein was my backup choice, but she was pro-Antifa. Numbskull, I can legally run in 38 states. Numbskull for Congress. Irreligious idiot. The 2 fucked up. Yeah. They did. And Numbskull for president 2020. It's just... There's so many things. First of all, what gets me about Congress and passing bills and passing new legislation is that they just can't put one fucking problem in one bill. They have to propose the bill that's a sound bill, and it'll sound like a sound bill, and then they start putting all this other schemy, skeezy, shadowy shit in the bill, which makes people that you want to root for veto the bill because of the shady shit. And then starts the propaganda of, if you're voting for so-and-so, remember, so-and-so vetoed this bill. But they don't tell you why so-and-so vetoed that bill. Because there was something in that bill that was fucking skeezy, because they don't know how to write a bill that is short, sweet, and to the point. They have to put so much political ease in it that your eyes cross and your brain goes, when it comes to major bill issues, it should be short, sweet, to the point. It shouldn't be any longer than 10 pages. We should find some sort of service that everybody trusts. These bills should be emailed to us so we can read and discuss them, and we vote for them. Because obviously Congress, the people that we vote into Congress, aren't representing our interests. And I'm really, really sick of all the corruption. I'm sick of all the greed on Capitol Hill. I am sick of what is going on in Washington. But these ill-informed, backwards thinking, regressive leftists keep voting the same people in Congress year after year after year after year. Exactly, Mitch. Good morning. Single issue legislation. Irreligious idiot. I am still not convinced that Democrats have a chance of being kicked out during the midterms. Alabama got a Democrat elected, My city of ABQ likely went to a Democrat, and Virginia went Dem. The reason that Alabama went Dem is because they threw so much shit at the Republican for the hashtag me too sexually harassing bullcrap that voting for him would not have looked good. Let's face it, you got to see the whole story behind it and not just they went this way. I think they voted on the lesser of two evils. Taxes are not all legal and need to be reduced. I agree, numbskull. Scott McGinnis says taxation is theft. Thrax Sable Skulls, I counter with the Blue Cross. I mean, what? It is, it's a witch hunt. Numbskull for President 2020. PeninaChan, I take issue with popular vote from legislation by the public, but we could have a better system. We need a better system. Because, I mean, we need to go back. I don't know if most of you know this. You have probably by watching some of my streams. The original Congress wasn't paid. It was a job they did along with a job they were holding at the time. They weren't given a wage. We need to go back to that, and we need to outlaw lobbyists' money. Religious idiot. Can't that slut go away with her donkey-smelling crotch? No, and neither can Woo with her moon rocks. Neither can Woo. You know, there's so many ways we can sit around a coffee table or around a kitchen table and we can discuss, being your everyday person, how to solve these problems in Washington, how to get rid of the corruption in Washington, how to fix our country. And we could come up with some really good ideas. And you've arrived late, Jason. Good afternoon. And you're appropriating my Latin American culture of being late. Because I'm about to end the stream. And how dare you appropriate my Latin American culture of being late. Heh. Irreligious idiot Bradley Manning is also running for Congress. Numbskull. Government officials were not supposed to do it full time. They were supposed to be regular representatives of their area. Average people, not political diplomats. Yin Wolf. How can a country that prints its own money be in debt? Because it's anchored to something. The dollar is anchored to something. And because of the GDP and money we owe other countries. Because of dumbass fucking deals that have been made. Oh, you're shit, Jason Todd. Huh. Amanda Wolfchild, being late is a mom thing. Jason must be a woman. Ha ha ha! Love it. I love it. And on that light note, don't forget to check out the other live streams that are on the list for today. Yep, exactly, Wiki. May your coffee ever flow. May your caffeine be ever strong. And may you have a totally terrific Tuesday. Take care, my coffee nuts. Take care.